Hello and welcome to Open All Ours. I'm joined by three QPR fans and one very special player. I'm Chris Charles. First of all, joined by Paul Finney. Hi, Paul.
Where have you been?
Well, for my actual real job, I've been covering boxing in various different parts of America, Manchester, wherever. So I do apologise. I'm sure it's been way better without me, though.
We've missed you. Carry on.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say so. We're also joined by Charlie Wise. Hey, Charlie.
How you doing? Very well, thank you. And it's nice to have somebody else taking the reins and not Finney kicking his table down last week. Let's hope it stays in one piece anyway.
And Rob Gilbert. Rob,
hello.
How are you?
Hello, good to have you back.
Oh, thanks for having me. And last but certainly not least, Ilias Chair. Ilias, welcome to the podcast again. How are you?
Thank you very much. I'm very well. I hope you guys are good, and thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for giving us such a memorable week. 3 wins in 6 or 7 days.
What are you playing at?
Hey?
Well, it's ridiculous. I'm coming home from games happy as Larry, enjoying them. It's the best football we've seen in years, and it's brilliant. Carry on.
Yeah, over to you, Ilias.
No, obviously it's been a great week for us, and we are in a good place right now mentally, and obviously the team is performing, supporters are happy, everyone is happy in the building, and let's hope we can carry that on.
Yeah, realistically, when those 3 games came up, and 3 very tough games, Bristol City were doing, we're doing well. We're a point behind us, I think. Obviously, Sheffield United away, everyone was going, oh my god, and then Reading at home, who were again above us. I think most of us would have taken 6 points from that. What was the attitude going into the games? Did you all believe you were going to win all 3?
Yeah, obviously we go in every single game wanting to win. And sometimes in football you lose games, you draw games. We luckily enough we won games. We won the 3 games that we was ahead. But yeah, we went in there. We're not afraid of any team. Obviously, you see Sheffield United with all the names and all the big players and the players that played in the Premier League, and they have the reputation. They are the favourites to go up. So obviously everyone was, I wouldn't say scared, but everyone was on its toes that game, especially that game, because it's a big game. But I think the first half we showed a little bit of nerves, a bit of too much respect towards them. But then the second half we just unleashed. We got the goal from Chrissy, obviously. And then we just held on and defended so well. So at the end of the day, I think it was all deserved 3 points. I don't think we didn't deserve any 3 points in like them games. I think we were the better team in them 3 games. And but the beauty of it now is up to the next one, which is the big one against Luton. So
absolutely. And just before I hand over to the others, going back to that Sheffield United game, obviously the only downside was Chrissy's injury. And I think it picked up on the TV, him saying to you, the hamstring's gone again. Did you fear the worst at that moment?
Yeah, obviously. When I saw Chrissy go down, I didn't know because he had a bit of a weird belly that day. So I didn't know if it was for his belly or for anything else. So at the time, I didn't know. And then I went up to him when he went down, and I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "My hamstring." But the way his reaction was, I wasn't too bothered about it because obviously I still had that belly thing in mind, and he was on the meds and stuff like that. So I was thinking, okay. But then once I came off and I went on the bench, I said, "Where's Chrissy?" And then obviously he was inside, and I went up to him and we just hugged it out. I told him I will support him whatever. And then luckily enough, this week we had these results, and it's the best possible results we can get. Obviously, he's an important player for us. So yeah, he will be missing a couple of games, but hopefully we can get him back in time.
We saw against Reading, we can win without him. And the people who say you look a bit lost when he's not playing, you had probably one of your best games of the season. So,
well, obviously, you gotta understand, like, players make other players better. There's just fact. A quality player will always make another player better, and I think that was before with Ebbs. Now, obviously, if you have Chrissy, you have other players now in the team that are high quality players, which means that your level will go up. And if your level is not going up, that means there's something wrong, and obviously it's 46 games. It's impossible. It's impossible to play at a high level for 46 games. There's just your body cannot do that. So what you have to do is just find a good consistency in that. And I think with Chrissy, he makes me better. I make him better. We find each other well. We understand each other. We play the same football. And at the end of the day, I'm just happy to have him on the pitch. Obviously, I'm very gutted that he's not on the pitch with me, which makes the task more difficult. But as you can see, Tyler Roberts stepped in. This plays Dan Dykes got going this game against Reading, so hopefully he will start finding the back of the net on a regular basis. So at the end of the day, I think we have a very strong squad. We don't rely on any particular player, and like you saw, I think we use the most players in the 3 games in the whole championship. So we have a bit of rotation. We are flexible in our formation, in our players. So yeah. I think all in all, it's been a great week.
I'll argue with that, Paul.
It's interesting to say that, Ilias. I look at the away matches and everything else. I think you do definitely compliment each other. I mean, them breaks that you were doing at Bristol City, you killed them, both of you. They didn't know how to cope with you. They just couldn't. I mean, I couldn't make the game, so I had to watch it in Bristol City TV, and it was hilarious because they can't pronounce your name properly. And it was almost like everything, the way that we're counter-attacking this season is sublime. I mean, is it just drummed into you every day because Sheffield United, Bristol City, even Reading on Friday. Look, hi, Andy Carroll stayed on the pitch. I will never know, but that's a subject for us to talk about. We don't want to get you into trouble. But they've been hard games as well, haven't they?
Yeah, it's been very hard games. Very, very hard games. I think we played in Sheffield United maybe after us, the best team in the league. Then you got Reading. I didn't expect Reading to play like they played, to be fair.
Really?
Reading played a very direct type of football, which
physical.
Very physical. Which I don't know. Reading was never really known for that. If I be honest, they got good technical players, so I thought like they would be a ball playing team. But then, obviously, they worked they worked on the strength of Andy Carroll, which is just lumping it forward and get the second balls and be physical, like you said. But I think this week we had a mixture of everything, because Bristol away is a tough away fixture for every single team in the championship. Then you got Sheffield away, which is probably the toughest away fixture. And then you got Reading at home. So we had a bit of everything, and I think we coped with every aspect of the game well. Like you said, against Bristol, we were brilliant at counter-attacking. Against Sheffield, we stood our ground. We trying to play as well as much as they did. We're trying to play as well, and our counter-attacking that game was good as well. And we scored a lovely goal. I think it was everyone touched the ball, something like that. So, and then against Reading was, for me personally, was total domination. I don't think Reading did anything to trouble Senny with. It was a silly penalty to give away, but at the end of the day, I don't think Reading troubled us in any way, which was very important for us because they played in a low block, and we have to find ways through. If we keep going like that, teams will play with a low block against us. So we have to find a way through that. And like I said, it's been a very, very good week, and hopefully we can keep this on, because now everyone is expecting high things, So we won 3 games on the bounce against good teams. So now everyone is expecting us to win every single game, and it's for us players and for as a club to be managing that correctly, and hopefully we will do well.
Before I hand over to the other guys, one thing I'd love to see is the players who can't play on Saturday in with the QPR fans, because that is some away end on at Luton away, and the crack is brilliant. So if any of them have got tickets, tell them to use them themselves and come and join us.
No, I will, of course. Luton away is always a special one for the QPR fans. I remember there last year as well. It was, it was a cracking game last year. And yeah, I can't wait for that game. Everyone is ready for that game, and hopefully we'll have a good entertainment on Saturday.
Well, I'm stupidly going to Belfast on Friday to watch my Irish team play, and then getting the first flight out to Luton in Saturday morning. So hey ho, might see you there, or might have a spare ticket.
Charlie.
Yeah, just want to touch on one moment. I'm sure is a proud one for you this week. Johansson, I think, was it Sheffield United game? It's actually slipped me. He, of course, our regular skipper, should we say, stepped down to the bench for some rotation. Beale had to pick someone to take the armband, and he kind of shared the light on the kind of funny story where you thought you were going to be dropped, and he was actually giving you the armband. Can you talk us through a little bit of that story from your perspective?
So it was obviously an honor, a proud moment for me and my family, the club that basically gave me everything in life, that I can captain that club, which I love with all my heart. This club has been so great for me. So it's been an honor to be captain of this team as well with the players. And that story is actually quite funny because like the gaffer said in a couple of interviews, it was funny. So we were eating pre-match, I think, or lunch. I don't remember. I think it was pre-match. He came up to me and he said to me like, come and see me after you've done. And the moment he said that to me, I kind of mugged him off. Not mugged him off, but I was like, oh yeah, okay, all right. So I'm gonna be sitting on the bench for that game. So I was already preparing my conversation, like why, and I think I'm ready for 3 games a week. I'm fit enough. I feel good, blah blah. So I was already planning my conversation with him, and obviously afterwards he said to me, why do you think I want to speak to you? And I said to him, well, I guess I'm on the bench then. And then he said he started laughing. And I was sitting there with a straight face, and he said to me, no, it's not because of that, mate, but I just wanted to give you the honor of giving you the armband for this game, and just be yourself like always. Don't trying to be different, don't trying to do too much, because he knows I'm not the biggest talker in the dressing room. I don't really speak that much in the dressing room. I'll just go about my business. But yeah, he told me you've been great this season. You've been leading the group on the pitch, and I'm really happy to give you the armband. And for me, I was a bit shocked. Obviously, I couldn't say anything back apart from thank you. So yeah, it was a great moment. It was an honor for me to captain the team against Sheffield, and obviously to get the win, which made it sweeter. So I got 100% record as a captain. So that's a good start.
Good man. Just one more from me. I think one thing that's really stood out to me from these last 3 games, I think definitely at later stages, as we've kind of come onto the cosh a little bit when we're holding out for that victory, especially away from home. And I think if you look at it maybe at last season, I think maybe that self-belief from what we see now maybe wasn't quite there so much, maybe a little bit inexperienced, maybe we've kind of learned from those bits from last year. What do you kind of think's changed? Because I think at moments last season we may have conceded a late goal, but when we see the side, I think in those moments there just seems composure. There doesn't seem to be that. I think the fans are nervous, but I don't really think that the players are feeling that. There's genuine belief that we can see that victory out. What do you think's maybe changed? What is Bill maybe communicating? What is the kind of what's the team kind of feeling and experiencing in those moments that's maybe changed from last year?
Well, the first thing is we work for each other harder. What I mean by that is not that last season we weren't working for each other hard enough, but this season, I don't know, it's a mentality thing. So if you get a corner and you like the opposition gets a corner in the 94th minute, obviously everyone is holding their heart and everyone is jumping and stressing because they might score or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you defend that corner the same as you did in the first minute, it will have the same outcome. So it's concentration as well. It's really the belief in you that you're not going to concede that goal. And also once we have the ball and we are on the cush, like you said, we just don't boot it away to the corner flag. Sometimes you do, obviously. Sometimes you have to. When you have no options, you're not going to start dribbling in the midfield and you just boot it away. But you see, like you said, a bit of composure. The team keeps playing the ball. It's not like, oh yeah, we have an option to pass it into midfield or to boot it in the corner flag. We will take the option to pass it in midfield, which makes a big difference because now the other team is running, and that takes the clock off. And we got a lot of chances in them last minutes. You know, we had so many chances in the last minutes, and that is because we just don't be stupid and go and boot it to the corner flag so they can re-attack us again. And when we are under the cush, instead of just dropping and holding, we actually go and press and play with some character and you know, and I think that's the main thing of this season. I think the belief is there. We have not achieved anything yet. Absolutely nothing. 3 games, yes. Everyone happy, yes. 9 points, yes. But hey, 1/3 of the season is not done. Like, we haven't even played 1/3 of the season yet. And we have to keep realistic. We have to keep grinding. Not look at any teams. Just look at ourselves, analyze ourselves, and hopefully by the end of the season, we will be where we deserve to be.
Hey, Rob, over to you.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned last season there, sort of by the end, it was quite noticeable how upset you were at full time of a lot of games. I mean, are you still carrying that sort of back end of last season with you, using it to motivate you, trying to learn from everything that happened? Because obviously this time last year we were doing fantastically as well. So does it feel different this year? And are you using last year to push you on?
Yeah, obviously, every year you're trying to improve. I'm not using last year as a motivation, because I think last year my last couple of months were not good months for me because I was just struggling with everything. To be fair, that's more on a mental level, because I went to the AFCON and then I didn't perform in the AFCON like I was doing at QPR that time. Before the AFCON, I had a great start of the season and I was carrying it on. But then I got an injury, and then when I came back, not long after that, we started having injuries after injuries. We had like 7 goalkeepers at one point, and then you have players like Chris Willock out, and then you have Moses Odebajo out and stuff like that. So we as a team, and myself in particular, I'm not looking at last season as a motivation. I'm just trying to learn from everything I do. So for example, last game, I'm learning from last game what I need to do better to be better in the next game. And that is my mindset. I'm not trying to look too much back, because the next game you will be judged on your next game. You know, you're only as good as your last game. You will be judged on your next game. So Luton is next. Why should I be thinking about Fulham at home last season? It's not gonna affect me like it should affect me. It will only bring me down mentally. It will not be good for me. So I'm just trying to take game by game. I'm just trying to have fun and play the best I can and work hard for the team.
Does it? I mean, how is it different, sort of playing with Chris Willock, Tyler Roberts, compared to Bright and Abere Eze? I mean, there was from a hierarchy level, you were sort of just breaking into the side with Bright and Eze back then, but now it's so established. Does it feel different on the pitch with them? Is it, you know, do you think these boys can hit the heights that Abere's hit? How is it comparing them?
I definitely think the boys that we have now can hit the heights that Iberia hit, or Bright. But from what is different playing with the guys that I'm playing with now than with Ebbs and Brighty, well, the main thing for me, Ebbs and Brighty were very physical players. Brighty was as fast as anyone. So Brighty was very, very fast, which is a different kind of skill set to a Tyler Roberts. And then Iberia had a bit of everything, you know. He was technical. He used his body so well. He's a good dribbler. Which Chrissy, for example, Chrissy is for me as good as Ebbs in that aspect. With Chrissy and Ebbs, I can link up. So it's difficult to compare the two. If you ask me who would I play with rather, I'd rather play with Chrissy and Tyler because they are here at the moment. You know what I mean? So yeah. I cannot not take them two because them two are so great with me. So I wouldn't change them for anyone. And yeah, I'm happy the way we are going right now, and hopefully we can keep it on.
And one more that you mentioned AFCON and how it messed with your head a bit. Does that mean sort of with the World Cup on the horizon and hopefully you make the squad? I've got your sticker in my Panini book. I mean, will you approach the World Cup differently? Are you looking at it as a once in a lifetime opportunity? What's sort of your headspace ahead of that?
For the World Cup, obviously, I learned from my experience in the AFCON. So obviously, I will take the World Cup. I will go into the World Cup differently if I'm called up. Hopefully, I'm called up. But yeah, it's for me, it's not going to be a once in a lifetime experience because I think our squad is young enough and good enough to play in the World Cup every single year for Morocco. We have an incredible squad. In England, not a lot of people know the players that play abroad for a team in France, for example, or for Italian teams. You know, in England is really focused on the English players in the UK. Not on the English players in the UK, but the players that play in the UK, in the Premier League and in the Championship, and then in the Scottish League as well. But we have a really, really good squad, and I think we can achieve whatever we want to achieve with that squad. Honestly, it's such a good squad, and yeah, and hopefully I can be part of that. If not, in 4 years' time, there's another one. If not that one, there's another 4 years. So at the end of the day, it will be an amazing experience. It will be an honor to represent my country in a World Cup. And as a young kid, you always dreamt of playing in a World Cup. You always go to your backyard and act like you're playing in the World Cup and score a goal in the last minute and stuff like that. So yeah, obviously it's a great honor, and hopefully I'm called up. Hopefully I can make some minutes in that World Cup. That would be a great achievement for me.
At this point, as a Northern Irish person, can anyone explain to you what the hell the World Cup is? It sort of bypasses me all the time. But I've just had an idea for the World Cup for you. You know, Sombrero man who sits in the South Africa Road with a Moroccan flag. I think he's from Morocco, obviously. I think you should borrow his hat and his little bugle thing. So when you score in the World Cup, you can celebrate with that. I think that'll look great.
that would, if that happens, that would go viral. I won't lie to you. Yeah, that everyone in the world will see that one. That
see where I'm going with that.
That might be a good idea. Maybe you're giving me some good ideas.
Good man.
I'm guessing you know that guy. I saw a load of people as well with like the Fez hats on the other day in the R block. There's like a little group of about 6 people. I don't know if I'm assuming that was something to do with a little fan club of yours as well.
I don't know, but I do know the sombrero guy. I do know him.
Yeah,
he's such a lovely person. Such a lovely person. I absolutely adore him. He's been a QPR fan way before I was born, and he's still there. He's still holding it strong. He's still loyal, and obviously he's Moroccan, so that's just a plus for me. But yeah, I love him a lot, and he's been a great fan for me, and And yeah, whenever I can share a moment with him, I will share it.
Well,
One other thing about that. Sorry, Chris. Can I just ask one other thing? Then I'm going to go. Don't worry, Chris. The last question. Why did you get done for pitch invasion last season when we won and you ran on the pitch and the steward had a go at you?
Yeah, someone thought that I was a fan. So yeah, I guess that was a dark day. Yeah, I got done for pitch invasion. Imagine that. Running, you were telling me to what you do and go back in the stand. Yeah.
That's but I just want to stay with Morocco. Obviously, Adel Taarabt, I mean, was the previous Moroccan hero. I just wanted to say, obviously, he played with Chris Willock as well. Big influence on him coming here. How has he inspired both you and Willock over the years?
Well, Adel is a great guy. What a human being. He's such a lovely person. But yeah, he inspired me a lot. Obviously, I knew Adel from way before. From this thing is bugging me. Yeah, I knew him from way before. When I saw his clips for QPR, yeah, the streets will never forget. That was unbelievable player for QPR, and obviously. Getting to know him in the Moroccan national team, is such a great guy. He loves football. Honestly, I think he's the one person that watches all football. He watches every single league. I think football is on with him 24/7. Yeah, we talk a lot about football. We talk a lot about his time at QPR, and obviously what he has done for the club in terms of getting them promoted and stuff like that. So he's a big inspiration. Obviously, you wanna achieve what he has achieved for the club, because everyone deserves that. And I think it's a dream come true for me if we do ever get promoted with this club and I had a contribution to give. And yeah, obviously you dream of that, and he achieved it. So you're trying to prick his brains in what to do and how to handle it. Yeah, and he gave me some great advice, and I'm so happy to know him.
Just before we go back round the table again, because I'm conscious we don't want to take up too much of your time. Just a quick word on the gaffer. I think the players were probably as shocked as we were when Mark Warburton went, because he did a really good job, and he's like laid the foundations, if you like, for Mick Beale as far as I'm concerned. But and there was a few people. Mick Beale was unknown to a lot of people, but man, he's hit the ground running, hasn't he? How is it? It seems like the squad is like all together and are playing for the manager. But how big has he been since he's come in?
Yeah, obviously, first of all, I want to show huge respect for Mark, what he has done in my time in QPR. He was the one that started playing me. He was the one that gave me the tension and put me in pressure moments and drove me to be a better player. And I got a huge respect for him. And I will never, ever utter any kind of disrespect in his name, because I owe him a lot, which I owe a lot of people a lot at QPR. But he certainly is one of them that gave me that chance, and that gave me the games to show myself. He gave me time to develop. He gave me time to know the championship. That's first of all. And second of all, with the gaffer now, he is, how can I explain it? He is such a crazy football, crazy obsessed with football, and it seems like it's like his first head coaching job in England, I think, in the first team in the championship, and it seems like he's been in the game for a good 30, 40 years. Honestly, with the information he gives to the players is so much that some people might look at him and start dreaming, because they don't know what he actually trying to bring across. But he gives us so much information, gives us so much detail about how to attack teams, how to penetrate teams, how to score against teams, and how to defend. We are so well organized. and that is down to him. Obviously, he has been very big on the organization, on our defensive organization. We are a free flowing offensive footballing team, but as you can see this year, defensively we're so organized. We win the ball up high. We don't get cut through, and these are the things that since day one he came in the club, he started implementing that. And honestly, if he's such a great manager, honestly, and man management as well on a personal level. Always talking to me, talking about my family situation. Obviously, I recently been a dad 2 months ago, and he talks to me because he has kids, and he talks to me not how to be a dad, but he gives me advice and stuff like that. So just a great person, human to be around. And I absolutely love working with him. And I think he's the one that will bring the players to the next level. Just for personal development. I'm not talking about Premier League, or not talking about anything. I'm just talking about the players in their own individual aspects, bringing them up. What I mean by that is just developing them to the next step, how to get better. And I think he's been doing that with me. Obviously, there's still some stuff that I need to work on. As you can see, I missed a lot of chances with my left foot, which I can work with that. But yeah, he's been unbelievable. Honestly, he's been unbelievable. I absolutely love working with him, and hopefully I can keep working with him for a long time.
Well, what's been amazing before I just hand over the other guys is just stuff like reading the in-game management. There's a few eyebrows raised when we're taking off midfielders and bringing on defenders, but then he goes to the three at the back, and suddenly it kind of transforms the game, because Reading had got a big foothold in that second half, and all of a sudden he makes that change, and the game is pretty much ours.
Yeah, and the same against Sheffield, and the same against Bristol, and there's so many games that you can say the same that just went unnoticed. His in-game management is so great for us. It's like he makes a change, and it just relieves the team in that change. You know what I mean? So like you said, he took off a midfielder for a defender, which are probably, if you win in 2-1, probably a lot of managers would do that. They would take a midfielder or a forward off for a defender. But the way he did it, so we played all season with a back two. Then he went to a back three, which we actually worked on. So he did the same thing against Sheffield. 1-0 down, took me off, or whoever it was, for a back three, seeing the game out. So end of the day, just a great manager to work with, and he understands football so well. It's a joy. It's a real joy to be part of this team, part of his squad this year.
Great stuff, Charlie.
Yeah, kind of touching on, kind of expanding upon what we were just mentioning. But again, one thing that really stands out for me this year is I think the competition for spaces, the squad depth. For like in some areas, there's a lot of players that almost in their own right deserve to be on the pitch, but won't be able to start every game. Even if they're worth it. I think there are some areas that are really stacked. What impact is that having on the players, and how is Beale managing that on the training ground and around the club? How is he keeping everyone happy, and what's the effect on the motivation and almost that fight that the players are having to have at the moment to get on the side?
Well, at the end of the day, it's very simple. If you think that we have a lot of competition, trying to get into Manchester City team, or trying to get into any of these top clubs team, which their second team will probably finish second in the Premier League or third in the Premier League. You know what I mean? So competition is important, and that's what we lacked for the last couple of years. I think is that fear of having a bad game, which will result in you sitting on the bench, or fear of having a bad week in training, which will then transform into you sitting on the bench or not even being in the squad. So there are some good players that are not in the squad. So obviously is it's difficult to be the manager at the moment because there's so many good performers, performances to pick from. This cliche of you can't change a winning team, that's out the window as well, because, well, you win with one team, you change it up, you win again, you change it up again, you win again. So that winning with one team is out the window, and I think that helps us. Because other teams will keep the same team and will eventually gas out come November, December time, or even later on, February, March time. They will just gas out, and the players won't cope with it because it's such a tough league. But yeah, like you said, the competition is high. Training sessions are very high level, and honestly, every single one of the players don't want to be at another place because they play the best. They play the best football of their career. I think everyone in the squad right now is playing the best football of their career, and I don't think anyone can argue with me there. And why is that? Just because of the fact that if you don't play at your best, you will be replaced instantly. So yeah, the gaffer is managing it very well. I wouldn't want to be in his position, but yeah, he's managing it very well. He's very ruthless in that kind of sense, because I think a lot of football players these days, as a quote unquote, yeah, you need to give them love, and you need to be that. Of course, you need to give love to the players that deserve love. You don't need to give love to the players that are just hanging about and doing nothing, So at the end of the day, I think he's doing a great job of managing everyone, and hopefully we can keep this up as a team, and we won't have any people falling out. That's the main part of it.
Just
I just say
the last one. Sorry, just quickly. I remember we spoke at the start of the season. And you kind of mentioned that this is your time to kick on. You wanted to have your biggest season in the blue and white. 3 goals, 5 assists so far. On a personal level, where do you think you can get to this campaign?
Well, I'm not entirely happy, to be fair with you. If you look back at all the games, I should be on 10 goals already, and I'm not talking about no scruffy, like no shots from outside the box. I'm talking about like inside the box, normal finishes that you should be finishing. So, yes, I got all right numbers from
definitely
the outside perspective. But for me, I should have been on way better numbers already. But I don't get myself too high. I don't get myself too down on that. Just keep trying to keep it at the same place all the time, and yeah, just having fun. Trying to have fun on the pitch, and that will be the best out of me. If I have fun, you will see the best Ilias Chair. If I'm out there frustrated and stuff like that, yeah, that's where my game goes down.
Spot on. Nice
who now has the dog on his lap.
Yeah.
So either you or the dog can ask a question, Paul. I guess we might get more sense out of the dog, but
might not mention Northern Ireland.
I'd never mentioned Northern Ireland, and he was about to start barking at the house there as usual. So he's 13, bless him. So he's old. So I just thought, and he also, Ilias is his favourite player. I mean, he thinks you're amazing. No, do you know what I was so proud with on Friday? And I'll be honest with you, and even as a 53-year-old man, I love the fact that you guys give Dykes so much love when he scored and so much support, even when he's going through a bad time. You guys have really brought him through this, and that team spirit. You can't. If you could box it up and give it away to every club, they'd sell it for 1 million times over. I'm so proud of how you did that, because he has. I mean, I don't think he's been playing that bad. I don't think he's deserved the stick he's been getting. That's for sure. He's obviously struggling, but you guys are so good towards him. It was brilliant to see that on Friday. By the way, it made me really happy.
Yeah, Dykes is a big part of this group, a big character, big human being. He's such a good guy, and everyone will support everyone. I mean, if I don't go out my way and support the guy next to me, what do I expect when I'm going through a bad way? And life will catch up on you, So at the end of the day, I'm just happy for him that he got his 2 goals and he shut a lot of people up. That's number one. because he deserves that. He works his socks off every single day in training, and he's such a good guy, such a good human that honestly he deserves everything he gets in life. And I'm so happy for him. Everyone in the team is happy for him. I hope the supporters are happy for him, and I hope we can keep rolling like this, because at the end of the day we will need him if we want to do anything.
Absolutely. Rob, so we're going to let you go in a second. Yes, just one last one from Rob.
Yeah, just quickly, Ilias, what's your favourite goal you've ever scored for QPR? What's your best one?
The next one.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yes. Who do you think's got the best chant in the squad?
Chant.
Best
Who do you
song,
think's got the best chant? Yeah, the best song.
I don't know. To be fair, I get a lot of stick from Chris Willock, about my chant. Yeah, he always starts singing it as well, like out of nowhere, and it gets a couple of laughs. But I reckon mine.
Yeah. Do you know the original song by Joy Division? Have you heard that? Have you heard the original song?
For me?
Yeah.
No.
Well, Love Will Tear You Apart Again by Joy Division is the song.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The original song, Love Was. Yeah. I know. This is funny because I was watching Man City the other day. I think it was against Man United, and I think the Manchester City fans were singing the same song for Phil Foden. And so I told Chrissy, "Listen, I at least got the same song as Phil Foden. What you got?" So yeah, I'm fine with my song. I love my song.
Brilliant. Well, listen, Ilias, it's been brilliant. Before you go, just quickly, the lower loft, now that the standing section I was in there on Friday night, it's absolutely banging. Have the players noticed the change in the atmosphere?
Yeah, no, honestly, this the season, the fans has been unreal. Yeah, honestly, I can't be happier than this. They've been supporting us home anyway. I hope we keep it up as a team and as a club, and I'm sure that the fans will back us as well in every single game. And yeah, hopefully we do something together and make all of us, all the people that are in love with QPR, proud.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're in love with QPR as well, which is great to hear, man.
And also for Saturday, Ilias, best of luck, and hopefully you won't have to walk to the bloody ground this time, halfway around Luton.
Honestly, yeah, we look like the Peaky Blinders in that picture.
Oh, brilliant. All right, thanks. We'll
tear them apart, big man. Tear them apart.
We're going to carry on, mate, but we'll let you go. And thanks ever so much. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it, guys. And whenever you guys want me back, I'll be here.
Okay,
big
next
man,
week.
thank you, Ilias. Big man.
Cheers, Ilias. Goodbye.
No problem. No problem. See you guys later. Bye bye.
Man. Take care. Just wait for him to press the off button, and there he goes. Oh, what a lovely fella. Well, we knew that anyway, didn't we? Really, but
Snoopy really likes him.
Oh, your dog. Oh, yeah.
Dog.
Forgot what his name was. I mean, all of the stuff we got. What I've noticed is the different to last season. It's like the extra pace we seem to have in the squad. I don't know what you guys think. It just seems. I think we were a bit. Like I said, I wouldn't have anything to say against Mark Warburton either, but I just think there was a lot of pussyfooting around, passing it around the back, and we just didn't seem to get forward that quickly. But we're kind of. I think it's the wing backs. The introduction of these wing backs has sort of like made us a more potent threat going forward.
Yeah, the wing backs are just completely different world to where we look. Lee Wallace did well for us, or the Barger did all right for us, but these are two proper players. I mean, I'm looking at Laird and I'm just thinking, how's he here? It's the closest we've come to. It's like when Kyle Walker was here, and you're sitting there thinking, how's he here? And I think that with Laird, and Powell gets better and better, and I'm pleased Pal is ours. But the wing backs make such a difference. They really do. And Ilias touched on how we went through. We spoke about going 3 at the back against Reading, but that allowed Powell to move further up, and that for me just made a big difference. Suddenly, Ilias had a mate to play with, and Tim was getting involved. But you're right, the pace is there in the middle. We're rotating much more as well, which I think is making a difference. We're not flogging Steph to death. And that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, Steph has just been, not a completely different player this season. He was the player that we wanted him to be last season, that he was the season before, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Charlie, Tim. I'm not brave enough to pronounce his name on the podcast. What did you make of his ball? I thought he came of age against Reading. I think he maybe looked a bit. He was good, but maybe a little bit naive in the first couple of games. But I thought he had a really good performance on Friday.
Definitely, really, really promising talent. I think you can see that boy has bags of ability. He's got serious potential. I think that was a real big maturity lesson for him, in essence. And Reading, that was his first 90 minutes at Championship level. There were areas that I think he'll learn from. I think sometimes he's got to learn what area he can take risks in. I think sometimes he tried to carry the ball and go past players in areas he probably shouldn't, and he cost us a little bit. He gave the ball away for that penalty, tried to run back, tried to win the ball back, and maybe committed over than he should have done. I mean, that penalty is... We've seen he stands on Tim's foot. Not a penalty in my opinion.
No,
but I think the way he carried the ball, glided past players, won that penalty for us. I think there's a serious player there, and I think he's going to get better and better and better. So I think it's the first time he's played, as Bill said this week. It's the first time he's played with men. These last couple of games, he's been playing academy football, and there's a serious player there.
And I just wanted to say a little word for Ozzy Kakai, because I thought when he came up, I mean, obviously we're all thinking, oh God, one of our main men's gone off, but I thought Ozzy, I mean, obviously great cross for the goal, and he's clearly not in the same class, but I thought he was just at him all night, and some of the stuff he was doing wasn't come off fair enough, but I thought he did really, really well, and I think he answered like a lot of critics on Friday night.
Just to interject quickly, I think one of my most favourable things from that Friday night was going on Twitter and seeing a Reading fan tweet that Kakai tore us apart, and I just thought that sums up the evening for me. That was like, what better can that get? Yeah, he took the ball by the scruff of the neck. I think sometimes you've got to realise that he's not a wing back. He's not an attacking fullback. He's almost a traditional right back. He's not someone that can go and beat four players and put the ball in the box like maybe Ethan Laird can do. He's a good, solid squad player. He's not a world beater, but when called upon, he delivered on Friday night and he did really well.
No, absolutely. And Paul, you mentioned Lyndon before. I don't think I've ever, well, I probably have, but I mean, in recent years, I've never been so pleased for someone to score a goal like that. And credit to the QPR fans, when he had that horrendous miss a few weeks ago, they didn't get on his back. They just started singing his song straight away. I was just so chuffed, and on his birthday as well.
The trouble is, it's like anything, isn't it? You go on social media as a player, and I'm sure you think the whole world's against you because the same people keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. And he probably has a lot of self-doubt, but he shouldn't have, because he's trying. He's not hiding, and you can't ask more than that. I mean, every striker could have missed, but I'm just pleased for him because it's kind of like we need the Lyndon Dykes that plays for Scotland to transfer that to QPR, and he's done that, and he'll keep doing it, and he just needs to keep his head down, keep banging them in, and I think the fans will be fine. I think the difference this season, I think we are giving players a chance, and we need to, because the squad isn't the biggest, but also you can see what the manager's trying to do. I mean, one thing I did notice on Friday was, like, if you're Paul Ince, you're sitting there, and you're just being out for everything you're trying to do. Bale's counteracting, and then when Bale did them substitutions, you just see Paul Ince going, "You absolute gobshite," and then he's having the force to react as well. So by doing that, he's throwing their plan into chaos as well. It's brilliant. It's in-game management, as Chair said. Maybe it's because he's young, he's fresh. It's just brilliant to see, and that debut by Tim for a home debut, he made mistakes, everyone makes mistakes, but he just got better and better and better. And just think yourself, we've got a hell of a selection problem. I mean, Jimmy Dunn, the centre halves, there's massive problems there. Kai came in. And you often find, going back to Kai, with players playing better, it makes you a better player. You don't feel so nervous that he might have done last season, because he knows he's got the lads around him to get him out of the situation. I mean, you can give Ilias, I mean, one thing Ilias does do, which is brilliant, is I never know what he's going to do next. So his teammates haven't got a clue sometimes. And they certainly didn't have a clue on Friday how to deal with him. But he also just has that ability now, when he releases the ball, of just picking them passes. It's good to see. Listen, we're enjoying it. It doesn't matter to me if we go up or not. going to sit here and be like kind of like up and down like a yo-yo. It's just nice to go to a Friday night game and come home in a really good mood. In fact, I couldn't even get into the green to meet you on Friday the way back, Chris, because it was flipping rammed. And I thought, sod that. No, I went and got drunk in Arnold's Grove instead and got in at 1:30, as you do. But you know what? The team spirit is so important, the man management. It's just nice to be enjoying football, and the lower loft making a difference. It's just, you know, people keep saying that we've got our Rangers back, but we've got something to go forward with as well, which is so much more important.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got our Rangers back under Warburton as well. I keep mentioning his
name. Yeah, but I mean, like atmosphere-wise, Chris.
Oh, yeah, and I think, I honestly, I think Warburton laid the foundations, but I totally do feel it's just something else. Is like, and my only fear is that obviously this is not going to go unnoticed, and like, you know,
I'm getting nervous. Every manager gets sacked, and I think, because like West Brom have sacked Steve Bruce, and you're thinking, you know, if you get McDearlin, and he even look at Villa, look how much they've fallen away without him, or how pedestrian they look, and like you said, it can't go unnoticed.
Yeah.
But
I think he's 11th. Do you know, Robert? He's 11th longest serving manager now.
Yes, the championship goes. Just, you know, people gamble, don't they? They spend a load. If they're not going up, they panic and they get rid of the manager. It's always been that way in the championship. It's always been that way.
Well, Watford, I mean, you know, the way they're going to have like 4 or 5, maybe 6 this season. But which is never mind. That's not our problem.
But it's not brilliant to see Rangers for once doing something. Listen, you guys know I was not happy how we got rid of Warburton. I thought it was wrong at the time. There's ways and means of dealing with these things. I think getting the sacked on a golf day wasn't great, in my opinion, but that's just PR. I don't know what was going on there. But he did lay the foundations. I don't think, like Ilias says, he deserves respect. But Bale's now taken it on and just taken us to a level that we did. I mean, I would be happy with... I'd still be happy with the 8 or 9, I'm not going to lie. But if we can stick into them playoffs, you'd have to... At the moment, your fancy is against anyone, but we're due to, you know, it's just... Come January, we all know the bigger boys are going to go out there with the huge budgets and risk everything to get into the Premier League. And that's going to be... But we don't need to, because he believes in them players so much that, you know, that they'll do anything for him.
It's early days. It's early. Like we had, I'm sure we all had not dissimilar conversations this time a year ago. We were.
We're 3 points better off now.
It's all the difference.
The point is, a year ago we still had Willock and Chair doing fantastically. Dykes had scored, Dickey, and you know, and we've seen how it can fall apart. And we know that. I look at what Arsenal are doing in the Premier League, and I sort of think a bit similar to us, where it's going great and going great, but you're sort of holding your breath and digging in your nails, thinking, just keep going, because it could just go in a second. But I think I'm hoping that we've learned a lot from last season and are a bit tougher mentally to hopefully stick the course.
Yeah, well, everything crossed, mate. What did strike me is that, you know, as soon as Willock got his injury, I was like, Redden at home. Well, that's it, you know. And yeah, fair play. We just gave a brilliant performance, a penalty aside on Friday night, and it shows we can win without him. We've just got to win without him for another 4 games or so, and all's rosy. Well, listen, lads, it's time for the arse end. It's gone very quick.
Can I just say one thing about the game of Friday?
Say what you like, Paul, within reason.
I love that haircut.
Thanks.
At least you've still got her. I'm bald. Andy Carroll, discuss. If it's any kind of card, it has to be red or nothing. Surely you can't give a yellow card for that, can you?
Oh God! I mean,
close one.
It was, yeah. I don't think it was like completely studs up trying to kill him. I mean, I think it was clumsy at best.
He was off the ground.
Well,
and also
off the ground.
If Roberts hadn't jumped up in the air and jumped out of it, that would have been a leg breaker.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, you've seen him given. He's almost out of control. He's quite reckless, and there's probably a good chance that it does harm. So it's on the line, isn't it?
And then there was a handball we didn't
swing
get either.
either way. Yeah, I mean,
the
officiating on Friday night was absolutely diabolical.
It's a long
we
line
seem to say it a
line.
lot. Yeah, but that for me was one of the worst I've seen in a while. That was.
And according to Clive, he's one of the guys who's been fast tracked to the Premier League, I think.
He fast tracked back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was shocking. Okay, so ours end.
He actually made strides like competent, just incompetent.
Well, let's not go too far, eh? I'll start us off. There's a few I'm just going to rattle through, and I do mean a few. Just a few things that I noted. First of all, apparently Samba Diakite was queuing up to get in on Friday night with the rest of the fans. There's like people having photos with him. Just
No way.
paid on the door like a punter. Yeah, Samba Diakite was there watching on Friday night.
Talking of red cards.
Hey, yeah.
Talking of red cards.
Rob Dickey was in the Adelaide after the game, joining in the Lyndon Dyke song. I mean, it was just like one of those mad bloody evenings. And then I turned the telly on last night, and I was going to watch something on Netflix or whatever. And there's Bobby Zamora on a fishing program, and I actually watched an hour of a fishing program. Bobby Zamora was on it. So, yeah.
Which fishing program was that? Is that Mortimer and?
I've got no idea. I think it's
he's got his own one. On ITV4, he is hosting a fishing program.
Yeah.
So for all the Bobby Zamora and fishing enthusiasts out there.
Yeah. To be honest, it was actually, I've never watched a fishing program in life, but it was actually quite good. I'm not saying I'm going to tune in every week. So that's my triple R's end. And just to end with, like, Paul's got Pal or whatever you pronounce, got a decent song, but on Twitter, Pal the Dutchy on the left hand side. I don't know why that's not been. It's covers. He's Dutch. He's on the left hand side. His name's Paul. I don't know why that's not taken off yet, but
I think it will. I think we'll see both.
I'm hoping maybe Luton, some people can get that going, because I think that's an absolute winner. Apologies to all of those who aren't familiar with that song by Musical Youth, but here's a banger. Right, who wants to go next? I know you want to go last, Paul. Take your pick, boys.
I've only got a small one, which is I just noticed that it's got nothing to do with anything. Well, King Charles is getting crowned on our home game with Bristol City.
Oh, is he?
In May the 6th is the coronation. So if for some reason, more for the foreign fans, if you're planning on flying over or whatnot, maybe hold off on any of those plans for that Saturday, May the 6th.
God, yeah. Oh, don't say football's going to be banned for that.
No, they might move it to the Sunday or the Friday and bank holiday. Do you know what I mean? Just if anyone's planning that far ahead, just hold off for the home game with Bristol City.
Yeah, that's good research there, mate.
I just looked. Do you know what? It came up as a breaking news, and I thought I had something like the date rung a bell. So I went to my calendar to look, and it just out. I've got the QPR fixtures in. I was like, oh, Bristol City, and I thought, well, I'll mention that as my arting because I got nothing else.
I love it, mate. On a similar note, on Loft for Words, I can't remember the guy, but if you go on Loft for Words, hopefully Clive will pin it to the side. But there's a train ticket offer where you can get a return. I've just done it. Return to Norwich for 20 quid. So anyone who's thinking of going to Norwich, you can get there and back for a score.
It's just getting home's going to be the issue. I think we're getting at 12:15. I'll be on that train, Chris, but we might be sharing an Uber.
No, there's a train that goes at 10.
They moved the kickoff time, didn't they?
The station's right near the ground, isn't it? From what I can remember.
No, I mean when we get back to London, you've been led.
Oh, sorry. Right. Oh, well, we'll sort that out. Yeah. Hopefully we'll be just like finding late bars at 2 a.m. by that stage, celebrating another famous win.
I'm 53.
Charlie,
this is late.
Nothing as well prepared or well researched as those, but I think just hats off to the board for this one. I think when you bear in mind that we interviewed Sol Campbell for this managerial vacancy, and we've ended up with the absolute worldie of Mick Beale, who seems to be proving all his worth at the moment. I think there's just so much still to come from Beale and his side. I think when you listen there to Ilias about the amount of information, the detail and all these sort of things, it's going to take time for the players to be able to intake that information and act upon it. And I think when they start to learn with that and really implement what it wants to do, I think we can only get better.
Brilliant. Paul, as always, over to you for the last of the R's ends.
Well, first of all, I apologise for the dog barking, but he had to sit me knee, bless him. He's 13 now, he's older, your son. It's weird. You kind of forget how much the club means to people, and there's always little things that happen in life that, you walk down the road, you bump into someone you haven't seen for 10 years and you have a yarn. But we did a mitzvah on Saturday for Joyce Mongolis, and his dad's been going to QPR all his life. His dad was telling us at Nottingham University, he used to, go to all the QPR games. And that's why I went to Nottingham and all these sort of things. And it's just seeing the look in the wee lad's face. We talk about Rangers again, they're coming out. By the way, thank you to Francis in the club shop who helped me find loads of balls and stress balls for the vases. Very kind of him. It's a bit of a weird request that he sorted me out. Thank you, Francis. But it's kind of like you forget how it's good to see younger generations saying that but it doesn't matter how long the success lasts for. They're enjoying it and their faces are lighting up and they're happy to talk about QPR and everyone's enjoying it again. That's just, that was an amazing bar mitzvah, by the way. I think the whole theme was QPR. The whole room was QPR. The bar mitzvah's boys badge was done in the QPR. That was just brilliant. And you just see how much the club means to people. And I love that. And it's just amazing because sometimes we're always talking about, the club don't do enough and reach out enough and everything else. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But there's no doubt about it. Our fans love this frigging club with a passion that I've never known for anybody else. I know everyone thinks that about the club, but our fans are amazing. And I'm just looking forward to Luton. I know it's going to be a bit tricky up there as it always is. And, that stand is awful. But we'll just make a lot of noise. Hopefully we'll win and everyone gets home safely. That's all you can do. But Luton's going to be rocking Saturday. I just hope we absolutely batter them because I can't stand them. Be interested to see what Freeman's doing with them, actually. I haven't kept too much of a track on that. But give me this team any day.
Absolutely. And as Ilias just said, none of them want to play for anyone else, which is pretty cool. Okay, right. Thanks, fellas. We've been open all ours.
We're going to do predictions, Chris.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Sorry,
you go away for 6 weeks. You come back. You do your box. You think you Steve Bunce, and you come back here, give it a large.
Oh God, I never give it large, mate. Okay, predictions for Luton. Okay, well, I'm going to go. I mean, we're on a roll, aren't we? I'm going to go 2-0.
Oh God.
I'll go 2-2, which actually would send us top.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Early kickoff.
I've got a weird feeling it's going to be a 3-2 win. Don't know why. 3-2. Bit of a goal fest. Drama.
Well, listen, there's two things going to happen here. I'm going to get stuck in Belfast and miss the game and win.
How when you get asked for a score prediction are you talking about Belfast?
Yeah.
Kenneth Brandon's got nothing on me, son.
Well, you might eat a roll with gluten in it. I mean, anything could happen. Yeah.
I never thought of that.
No, don't think of that.
I'm rolling the dice. No, so hopefully I'm going to Luton. I'm just going to find the bus that goes from Luton Airport to Kenilworth Road. So if I don't make it, we'll win about 4-0. If I make it, we'll probably win 2-0 or be a 1-1 draw or 0-0. I'm really boring. So I'm going for a 4-0 game and I'll probably miss it.
Thanks, Paul. Right.
You're welcome. I'll be in the air somewhere. Yeah. Cursing everyone.
We have been open all ours. Thanks for your time.
On the way back from Dungannon, I can just see the practice in Kenilworth Road.
See you next time.
See you next week.